Hi there, I'm Shane Spiers, and welcome to another edition of the Summit Interviews, beaming out to you from the beautiful city of Bath in the UK. My guest today is Dr. James Kelley. James, a very warm welcome. I've really been looking forward to this. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me so much. And I like your word choice for a beautiful bath.
Three B's, beaming out, yeah.
Yeah.
So first of all, folks, let me tell you a bit about Dr. James Kelley. His path is still being built brick by brick, and the current brick is his inaugural book, The Crucible's Gift, 5 lessons from authentic leaders who thrive in adversity. And the book is based on interviews with 140 plus executives from Fortune 2 companies to entrepreneurs and everything in between. And the book unpacks the journey a leader takes to become a more authentic leader, starting with their crucible moments as the springboard. And against the laws of nature and human belief in 2010, Dr. James Kelley completed his PhD, that's his words, not mine, in international marketing and University of Western Australia in Perth, and ascended to higher education work in Philadelphia. And prior to this event, James spent time living in Japan, New York, San Jose, Portland and Chicago. Each stop, James added work, life and failure in his bags of experiences. Today, James, his wife Mary and his 4 kids live outside of Dubai, where he teaches, writes and produces his bi-weekly podcast, Executives After Hours. The podcast is predicated on interviewing executives about their personal journey. The show's motto, I care about who you are, not about you do what you do, because what you do defines who you are. And I've just messed that up, but hey, it got there.
It's all right.
In addition, he is a professor of marketing at the United Arab Emirates University. James, the title of our interview today is Why Being Authentic Will Help You Scale. And if you're ready, I'll set the clock for our 5 minutes.
Absolutely, Shane. Thank you.
So before we get into specifically about our business area, small business owners, can you describe what authenticity is and what is an authentic leader?
Yeah, so I love that question because I have no answer for it. And the reason why I say that is that we all have to define what authentic is for us, and your audience will tell you if you're authentic.
Right.
And so when you start to define authenticity, you're putting parameters on what that is. Each of us are on our own journey, and each of us define it differently for us. I try to boil it down into a simple 5 components. But at the end of the day, you've got to figure out how you live your life to be the best version of you for where you want to go on your personal journey.
Okay. So what then are crucible moments that affect that authenticity and that journey?
Yeah. So this was one of the most amazing things that I found in my research for the book is that one after another leader that I interviewed had some sort of horrific event in their life early on in their teens, 20s, 30s, and every single one of them had grace and were grateful for these adversity moments later on, and how these adversity moments fundamentally transformed their identity on some level. And that to me was the start of their path to be a more authentic version of themselves.
Wow. Brilliant. And so what's an example of something like that? What's this?
Of a crucible?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, so again, I hate to define things, but the most common ones are death, divorce, suicide of a loved one, bankruptcy, business gone out in terms of just bankrupt business. Could be something as trivial as moving to another country, being a new person in a new world. It could be something as simple as quitting your job and going back to school to re-educate yourself. So, there's a spectrum of crucible moments. Each one of them has a different level of impact on the individual, and it drives different aspects of their personality to evolve, hopefully. But, this only happens when you have that self-awareness component.
Right. Okay. So, coming more to our audience, why is authenticity important for a small business owner?
Yeah. So I feel like when you're a small business owner, and I've started and failed at like probably 3 or 4 businesses now, is that you don't have time for BS. Like, you don't have time to be something different other than yourself, because often when you're a small business owner, you're not only the CMO, you're the CFO, the CEO, the COO, right? And you're the line manager. So to expend extra energy on projecting a false perception of yourself is energy that you could spend bettering you as a human being. Do you know what I mean? Like often, we feel like we have to fake it till we make it. And there's an aspect of that for sure, because you have to get the perception. But when that perception starts costing you the ability to be a better version of you, there's a cost in the long term for that.
Right. And how can living authentically help you scale your business, grow your business?
Yeah, so I guess to dovetail kind of that answer that I gave, scaling a business is time and energy, and you have to have something that can be replicated quite rapidly, typically, right? If you want to scale your business. So if you're authentic, you're building relationships with those around you that are going to help you do that. And I don't care who you are. If you think back 20 years, the leaders that probably had the most impact on you and small business owners and whomever you've come in contact with are the ones that are probably the most authentic. The ones that tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, the ones that can give you compassion when you need it, the ones that value your relationship as an individual. And so when you think back historically about your journey as an individual and a small business owner, the reality is that the influences, those around you that have influenced you the most, probably are going to be the people who are most authentic for most of us, right? And again, authenticity comes in different shapes, sizes, forms. It doesn't matter. And so I didn't actually answer the scaling. So once you've established those relationships, it's easy to scale with the support structure you've created by being the best version of you.
Okay. So, and then as you kind of grow, how do you then create a culture of authenticity?
Yeah. So culture is a crazy aspect, and culture definitely starts with the leadership team. But I'm a big believer in the power of question, and so a leader has the ability to shape the reality of the world that their employees work in through the questions they ask.
Right.
And so if you are trying to lead an organization and have a positive culture, an impactful culture, and mind you, the average engagement around the world in the workforce is about 18 to 19% based on the Gallup organization. In the States, it's 30. I don't know what it is in the UK. I'm going to imagine, I'll give you guys a solid 25.
Yeah. It's something around there.
Yeah. So let's be clear. Engagement's already pretty poor. So whatever you're trying to do to create a healthy culture, for most people, it's not working. What I would argue is that as you are scaling and growing and trying to create a culture, the questions that you ask your employees in terms of finding out the best in them, finding out moments of excellence, brings out the best in them as well as an individual when you ask those questions.
Yeah. So coaching as a leader, coaching as a manager has got to be a good way of achieving that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you'd totally agree with this, Shane. The best leaders, again, know how to ask the right questions.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily have to give you the answer. They have to give you the direction, or at least the reflection period to get to the answer.
Yeah. Brilliant. Folks, sadly we've come to the end of the time. I could speak for hours on this. If you want more resources, this will be below the video, but check out www.drjameskelley.com. James, brilliant. Thank you very much for that.